Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another playthrough of Spirit Island. Today we're playing with Lure of the Deep Wilderness and we're going up against Habsburg level 3. We're using events as normal and we're playing on board D, which is quite an interesting board. The initial explorer was into the wetlands. We have the 2 extra towns for Habsburg level 2, one in land 8 and one in land number 2, and I think that's everything for setup, so we can go on then to the first turn. And I think for this turn I'm going to choose growth option 2, and I'll take it from the energy track and I'll place it into land number 4, and then I'm going to choose growth option 3 as well, so I'll get 2 energy, and for the element I think I'm going to gain a moon. And yeah, then we get 2 from the energy track. I think I'm going to play Peril or Softly Beckon Ever Inward for 2. And I think that's everything for this growth phase. We have no fast power, so we go on into the invader phase. We turn that over but don't resolve it. We're building in the wetlands, so that gets a town and that gets a town. And then because of Habsburg level 2 or level 1, we gather a town from an adjacent land, so that should be done first and then that. Well, actually, if we do it like this, if we gather in there, there's nothing to gather in there, so we save that. Yeah, and that is that for the build phase. We are exploring into the mountains, so this gets 1 and this gets 1, and then the invader cards advance and we go on to the slow power phase. And I think what I'll do here is I have 2 moon and 1 air. So I can replace a town with 2 explorers, and I will target that land and replace that town with 2 explorers, and then I can gather them into land number 7, which because there's a town still left over, I generate a fear, and then I can play Softly Beckon Ever Inward, and I can gather 2 explorers, so I'll gather 1 and 2. I'll gather 2 towns, so 1 and 2. 2 beasts. Oh, I forgot to put the beasts on the board, sorry. That should be in land 3, and the disease should go into land number 2. I can't gather any beasts in there. Or I could gather Dahan. Do I want to? I think I will leave them where they are. And that's everything for this round. So we discard that. There is nothing to heal. So we go on then to time passes. And we go on then to the next turn. And I think for this turn we'll choose growth option 2 again and go from the energy track and place it there. And then we'll take growth 4 and gain a minor, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And we get call to ferocity, bat scout for raids by darkness. This shore sees with hatred and carapace land. I think given the elements, I'm probably going to go for bat scout for raids by darkness. It has the moon, air and animal, so that could be very valuable later on. So yeah, we'll keep that. We're getting 2 energy from the energy track, and I'm going to play Gifts of the Untamed Wild and Perils of the Deepest Island. So that costs 1. We have 2 moon and 1 air, so we meet that again, and we have 2 plant, so we get level 2 of innate 2. No fast power, so we go on then. Farmer Seek the Dahan for aid. On each board, 2 damage to the hand in a land with town cities. On each board, add 1 blight to a land with at least 2 town cities. Town cities have -1 health to a minimum of 1 until the end of the turn. Or add 1 town to a land with the hand. The next normal ravage becomes a build. And then on half of the boards rounding up, add 1 disease to a land with both the hand and invaders. Do 2 damage to the hand there. I think we'll choose growth 2, or option 2, sorry, and add this town in there. Yeah. And then the next normal ravage becomes a build instead. Ooh, okay. And then add 1 disease to a land with both the Han and invaders. So we will add a disease in there. 2 damage to the Han there. So we'll take him out. That was painful. So the next normal ravage becomes a build. So we are building a city there and a town in land 2, or land 1, sorry. We are gathering a town there, and there's nothing to gather there. Then we're building in the mountains, nothing there, nothing there. Although, no, sorry, we don't gather because it's after the normal build step. So we're building there and there, nothing to build, but they do gather. So I think we will gather that town there and that town in there. And then we're exploring into the sands. So the escalation, we do have less than 2 blight, so we have to add 2 towns to a land without towns or blight. So we will add 1 there and 1 there. And then they're exploring in the sands. So we're getting 1 there and 1 there. Invader cards advance. And we go on then to the slow power phase. So we will... So for this, I think... So we have 2 moon and 1 air. So I'm going to replace 1 town with 2 explorers, targeting land 5. So we'll place 2 explorers, and I'm going to gather them into land 7. Yeah, and there's no towns or cities left, so we don't generate a fear. I'm going to use Gift of the Untamed Wild to add 1 wilds into land 7. That's that done. I'm going to generate a fear with Perils of the Deepest Island, add 1 Badlands into land 7, add 1 beasts within range 1. So I'll add that in there, and then I can push the Dahan into land number 5. And that's that. And we have 2 plants, so we can destroy 2 explorers per token in land number 7. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 tokens, so we can go to 8. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Because we destroyed, so we generated fear, and then we do +1 fear because we destroyed 5 or more. So that's our first fear card. So yeah, that's everything for the slow power phase. We move on. Time passes, nothing to heal, so we go on then to the next turn. And I think for this turn I'm going to again choose growth 2 and growth 4 and go for a minor. So we'll take the minor first. So we get Mesmerize Tranquility, Gift of Power, Gift of Nature's Connection, and Devouring Ants. I think I will, given its elements, go for Gift of Power. It has a moon and a plant, which might be quite good for this turn actually. And then I'll place a presence in land number 5. We get 2 from the energy track, and I'm going to play Swallowed by the Wilderness and Gift of Power. So we'll pay 1 energy for that. So that's everything for the spirit phase. We go on then to the fast power, so we generate 2 fear, 1 damage per token, so there's 4 tokens in there, plus the Badlands damage, so we do 5 damage, so we take out 2 towns, generating 2 fear, and do 1 more damage to that town. So that's that. That's all our fast powers. We go on then to the event. It's sacred sites under threat. Each sacred site pushes 1 explorer town to an adjacent land. Remove 1 blight per player from the blight card, returning it to the box, or 3 energy per land where you do damage aided by fire. In each land with sacred sites and invaders, either do 2 damage or destroy 1 presence from each spirit. I think we might actually go for option 2 here. We have 1 fire in play, so we can pay 2 energy to do 2 damage in there, which takes that out and generates a fear. And then Beast's Prowl. Each beast generates 1 fear if invaders are present and moves to an adjacent land if not. So we generate 2 fear for those 2 beasts. And then each spirit with at least 4 Dahan among its lands gains a minor power. So we have 2 Dahan only, so that doesn't apply. We go on then to the fear cards. So 2 cards, terror level 1. Each player may choose a land with Dahan or adjacent to at least 5 Dahan. Invaders do not ravage there this turn. That doesn't really help. Defend 3 at all coastal lands, again, doesn't really help. So we're ravaging in the mountains, nothing. We're building in the sands. This gets a city, and this disease prevents that build. We are gathering a town in there, and do I want to do that? Because we have 2 plants here, so we may be able to. It's possible to convert that into 2 explorers, because we have 2 moon and 1 air, and then we could gather them elsewhere. I think what I'm going to do is I'll gather this in there, and then gather this in there. Yeah, let's do that. And then we are exploring into the jungle, so we still only have 1 blight, so we have to add 2 towns. I'll add that there, and I mean it's going to crap anyway, so I'll add that in there. And then we're getting an explorer there, an explorer. Oh, sorry, this can't be in a land with a town or blight, so we have to add it, I guess, either into land 1 or land 6. Or land 2, but no, I'll add it into land 1. And we've put out the explorers, so that's that. I'm sorry, I think this, instead of building a city, it should be 2 towns. Because of Habsburg's rule, they don't build cities inland. So I think that's right now. Okay, so we go on then to the slow power phase. We have level 2 here for the 2 moons and 1 air, and we have 2 plants, so we have this as well. So I think what I will do here is I will replace this town with 2 explorers. And then I will use the 2 plant to destroy those 2 explorers, generating a fear, another fear card. And then we also have Gift of Power, so we can gain a minor power. And I think, yeah, so we go for a minor, because 1, 2, 3, 4. And we get Strong and Constant Currents, Fire in the Sky, Purifying Flame, and Song of Sanctity. So the two that stand out are Fire in the Sky and Purifying Flame. Very similar elements. Purifying Flame is probably slightly better because it has the plant, but Fire in the Sky could prevent me losing a presence on this turn as well. So I think I'll go with Fire in the Sky for that. And that is all the slow powers we have. So we move on then. Time passes, this town heals. And we go on then to the next turn. And I think for this turn I'm going to take growth option 2 again. And I'll be taking from the energy track, and I'm going to do growth 4 and gain a major. So we have 1, 2, 3 and 4. And we get Vanish Softly Away, Forgotten by All, Grant Hatred a Ravenous Form, Manifest Incarnation, and Irresistible Call. So I'm pretty tempted by Irresistible Call, and I probably would consider going for it if it weren't for the fact that I won't be able to afford it this turn, because I will only have 3 plus 2 is 5. So it's probably between Irresistible Call and Vanish Softly Away, Forgotten by All. And I think I'll probably, because I'll be able to afford it and it has such good elements, I'll take Vanish Softly Away, Forgotten by All. And for that, I think I will forget. I think I'll forget Gift of Power. Yeah, so we'll gain 3 from the energy track. I'll play Vanish. Oh, I forgot to place my presence here. I'll place this into land number 5. So we'll play these two. So Fire in the Sky, target 1 away from a sacred site. We'll target there. We generate 2 fear, and we add 1 strife to that town. So that's that. We go on then to the invader phase, and we get cities rise on each board in the land with the most towns. Replace 2 towns with 2 cities. Okay, so that's going to ravage anyway. So 1 and 2. Beasts chase off the homesteaders. Push up to 2 explorers or 1 town from a land with beast. Yeah, we can push that in, I guess, there. When invaders ravage, if the land has the hand, defend 2. So that doesn't apply. We're at terror level 1. On each board, remove 1 explorer from a land matching a ravage card. Move him. We're getting a blight in land 4, which destroys that presence. Nothing in land 7. We're building in the jungle. This prevents that build. And this is getting a town. And then we gather into... I think I'll gather 1 town in there and this town in here. And then we're exploring into the mountains, so we still have the escalation, so we add 2 towns. So I'll add that in there and that in there. And then the explorers are going there and there. Invader card to advance. And we go on to the slow power phase. So we have 2 moon and 1 air. So we have we have 2 air, but don't have enough for the 3rd level. So we have this level here. And I think here we can... Let's replace this town with 2 explorers. And then gather those into land number 7. There's no towns or cities remaining. Although if we do it like this instead, so if we replace this with 2 explorers, and then gather those in there, we will generate a fear. And then we also have Vanish Softly Away, Forgotten by All, And I think I can remove one invader and one explorer or town. And I think for that I will remove these two. So one invader and one explorer. Yeah, let's do that. That's all the slow power, so we go on then to the time passes phase, so there's nothing to heal. And yeah, we go on then to the next turn. And I think for this turn I'm going to choose growth option 1, reclaim cards and get +1 energy. And then I think I'll choose growth option 3, so we get 2 energy. And what element do I want? So I think I'm going to play Softly Beckon Ever Inward, for sure. So we're going to get a blight there and nothing there. And then I think probably makes sense to, so for the element, I think I'm going to choose an air. And then we'll get 3 energy from the energy track. And I think I'm going to play Perils of the Deepest Island. So we'll play 1, 2, and 1, so 3. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we go on then, no fast powers, we go on to the events, and we get coastal towns multiply on each board, add 1 town to a coastal land adjacent to a coastal town. Okay, so we'll add this in there. Yeah, and then on each board destroy 2 explorers among lands with beasts. So we'll destroy that and that. And then on each board add 1 Dahan to a land with Dahan and no blight or disease. So we will add this. That's going to lose anyway, so we'll add it into land number 1. No fear cards. We're ravaging in the jungle. This gets a blight. Sorry, for the ravage here, we should have, that counts towards the irreparable damage. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6 for land number 2, so that doesn't count. So this doesn't blight. And that is the end of the ravage step. We're building in the mountains, so this gets a town. There is nothing to build there. We will gather this town in there and this town in there, I think. Yeah, let's do that. And then we're exploring into the wetlands, so we have 1, 2, 3 blight, so we only need to add 1 town for the escalation. And we can add that, I guess, can't have a town or blight, so in there, I guess. And then we're getting an explorer and an explorer. And the invader cards advance, and we go on then to the slow power phase. So we have 2 moon, or 3 moon, 2 air, and 1 animal. So we have up to level 3 of this, and then we have 2 plant as well. So we have level 2 of innate 2. So I think I'm going to just use the level 2 of this. So I'll replace this town with 2 explorers and gather them into land 7. We generate a fear because there's still a town left. So we get that and that. Then I want to use Softly Beckon Ever Inward. I will gather that town, these 2 explorers. There is no beasts, and I don't want to gather the Dahan. So that's that done. We will use Perils of the Deepest Island to target this land. So we generate 1 fear out of Badlands. add a beast and push up to 2 Dahan. There are no Dahan to push, and we have 2 plants, so we can destroy 2 explorers per token. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tokens, so 2, 4, and 5. So we generate 1 fear plus 1 more, so that's 2 fear for those. And that's all we can do in the slow power phase. So we tidy up and discard these 2 cards. And go on to time passes. There's nothing to heal. So we go on then to the next turn. And I think for this one I'm going to choose growth option 2, which will get me unlock the air. So I would have interesting choice here. So I think I'll choose growth option 3 as well. Yeah, we'll do that. So I'll place my presence there. We get 2 energy, and I'm going to choose a moon element for that. And then we get 4 energy from the energy track, and I'm going to play Vanish Softly Away and Swallow by the Wilderness. Okay, so Swallow by the Wilderness, 2 fear, so 1 and 2. 1 damage per token, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 2 from the Badlands, so that's 7. So we take out those 3 times, generating another 3 fear, a fear card. And that is all the fast powers we have. So we go on to the events, and we get Healthy Island. The next Explorer card matches all lands without towns, cities, instead of the printed land type. Ignore any escalation on it. Okay, it's a level 3 card. So choose a land with disease. In that land, 2 damage to invaders and 2 damage to Dahan. There are no lands with disease. Each spirit with at least 2 Dahan among its lands either reclaims 1 power card or regains a unique power it previously forgot. So I think I will reclaim Softly Beckon, because we have 2 Dahan in land number 5. So that's that. We're at Terror level 2. The fear cards are invaders do not build in lands where Dahan outnumber towns, cities. So there's no build there, but there will be one there. So we'll put that there. Each player adds 1 strife in a land with beast, disease, or Dahan. For the rest of this turn, invaders have -1 health per strife to a minimum of 1. So we can put this into, I guess, land number 3, which has a beast. And each player may gather 1 explorer or town into a coastal land. Defend 2 in all coastal lands. Do I want to do that? No. I think I'll leave it. So we're ravaging in the mountains. This is doing 1. The Dahan retaliate. Nothing in land 8. We're building in the wetlands. That doesn't build. And then this gets a town. And we can gather that town in there. And there's nothing to gather into land number 1. And the next explore is into the sands and wetlands, but it affects all towns or all lands without towns or cities instead of the printed land type. So that gets 1, that gets 1, that gets 1, and the rest have towns and cities. So yeah, that's everything for the explorer step. And we go on then to the slow power phase. So we have Vanish Softly Away, Forgotten by All, and also we have 3 moon, 2 air, and 1 animal. So we can replace a city. We also have 2 plants. So we have this. I think for this I will. I think I will use I will convert this into 2 explorers and gather them into land 7 using this power, so we only go as far as level 2. Our 2 plants, we can destroy all 3 of those explorers, generating a fear using this power. And then with Vanish Softly Away, Forgotten by All, I will remove 1 invader and 1 explorer from this land, so I remove 2 towns. Yeah, I think that's... And actually we can, in any 2 lands with 4 or more invaders, remove 1 invader. That might not have been optimal then, because we have 3 moon. So 1, 2, 3, and 3 air. I think it will. I think I will stick to that. So I'll remove those 2, and then I can, in any 2 lands with 4 or more invaders. This is the only one, so I can remove 1 invader, and I'll remove that city. So that's all for the slow power phase. So we discard those. Time passes. There is nothing to heal. So we go on then to the next turn. And I think for this turn, well, that has to go away. I think I'm going to choose growth option 2. And I probably want to play those 2, which would give us... I could then maybe... So I think I'm going to choose growth 2 and growth 4 and get a major. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we get accelerated rot, melt earth into quicksand, tigers hunting, and infestation of venomous spiders. I'm pretty tempted by tigers hunting, but because that's our only presence in the jungle and we can't use it in that land, I don't think I can go for that. Infestation of venomous spiders I think is probably the best option out of those, so I'll take that. I will forget that, and I think I'm going to play those 2, and I'll use my presence placement. What's my targeting requirements? I'll place it in there. We get 4 from the energy track, and we are playing Softly Beckon and Gift of the Untamed Wild. So we have no fast powers. We go on to the events and we get outpaced, so we can, for each of the slow powers, discard the power card, gain 1 energy plus the card's printed energy cost, or pay 3 energy, or destroy 2 presence. You may choose to resolve the power card now. Dang. Each sphere chooses a different land where Dahan outnumber town cities. Each Dahan does 1 damage. Okay, so I think we want to do option 2, so we can, for each of our slow powers. Dang. So I think what I'll do is I will discard Gift of the Untamed Wild, gain 1 energy for that. I will pay 3 energy and choose not to resolve Softly Beckon now. Add 1 disease, ignore disease during builds this invader phase. I will add that disease in there. And then each spirit chooses a different land where Dahan outnumber towns, cities. Each Dahan there does 1 damage, so that's only land 5. So that's that card. We're ravaging in the wetlands. Nothing in 1. This is protected by the strife. We're building in the sands and wetlands, so nothing there, nothing there. This gets a town because we're ignoring that disease this turn, and this a city. So that gets a town, and this gets a city. And then we're gathering, so there's no town to gather into 3. So we gather that town into 4 from the jungle, and we're exploring then into the mountains and jungles. And sorry, this shouldn't have got a city. This should get 2 towns because it's an inland land. So mountains and jungles. So no source there. There is a source there. Jungle and jungle. And the invader cards advance. And we go on then to the slow power phase. So we have... we lost this. So we don't have... I think I'm going to go back and actually pay the 3 energy for this and choose not to resolve it as well. Yeah, I think I have to do that. Because I want the elements. So without that, I would have lost the elements. Okay, so we go on then to the slow power phase. And for this, I'm going to use Gift of the Untamed Wild. I'll add a wilds in to land 4. I will use Softly Beckon to gather 2 explorers. So I'll gather these 2 times. So I'll gather this 2 beasts. So I'll gather this and up to 2 Dahan. I will leave those Dahan where they are. That's okay for that. I'm going to use, we have 3 moon, 2 air and 1 animal, so we will replace this city, it's 1 away from where I have presence, with 3 explorers and gather those 3 explorers into land 4 as well. So we'll place them there just off. And then we also have 2 plant, so 1 there, 1 there. So we can destroy up to 2 per badlands, beast, disease, or wild. So we have 1, 2, 3, so we can destroy 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5. So that's 1 fear plus 1. So that's another 2. And that is all we have for the slow power phase. So we discard those. There is nothing to heal, so we go on then to the next turn. And I think what I'll do here is growth option 2 and get a reclaim Softly Beckon. 4, 5, 6. And so we will be able to play those 2. We'll have 1, 2. And I think I'll take growth option 3 as well and take a moon. We'll gain 2 energy. And I will place this presence, I guess, there. And we'll get 5. So 3, 4, 5. We'll play that for 4 and this for 2. And then we'll go on to the fast power phase. So we will target this land, add a beast. Gather up to 1 beast for each beast, 1 fear. So there's 2 beasts there. We do 1 and 2 fear. And invaders skip 1 action in target land. So they will skip 2 actions in that land. They're only going to be doing a ravage in that land anyway. And so we go on then to the event card. New species spread. We can either, for each board, discard the top minor power. If it is fast, add 1 blight to a land with towns, cities. After resolving this card, return to the event deck. Or 4 energy per player, aided by moon. We have 3 moons. 1 fear per player. On each board, add 1 beast to a land with towns, cities. So we will pay 1 for energy. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Add 1 beast to a land with towns, cities, so we'll add that there, I guess. On half the boards, rounding up, add 1 disease to a land with both Dahan and invaders. Do 2 damage to Dahan there, so we'll add this disease there. Although both Dahan and invaders. Yeah, we'll have to do that. Let's do that. And then each spirit with at least 2 to hand among all its lands gains 1 energy. Do I want to do that then? I think it would prevent but I lose out on the energy. I think I will. I'll leave it. So terror level 2, we get defend 2 on all lands. It's not going to help us. So we go on then to the ravage. We're ravaging in the wetlands, nothing there, nothing there. Ravaging in the sands, nothing there. They skipped the ravage there because of infestation. Building in mountains and jungles, so this gets a town. This doesn't get anything. The disease prevents that. Jungles, nothing, and this gets a town. And then we gather, so from a land not matching the build, so we're gathering in there. There is a town getting gathered there, and a town getting gathered in there, a town getting gathered in there, and nothing to gather in there. And then we're exploring into the mountains and wetlands. So this gets 1, this gets 1, this gets 1, and this also gets 1. And then we go on then to the slow powers. So we will, what to do here? So we have 1, 2, 3 moon, 2 air, and 1 animal, 2 plant, and we have softly beckon as well. So I think what we'll do, we'll use level 3 of this to replace this city with 3 explorers and gather them into land number 4. And then we'll use softly beckon to gather 2 explorers. So we'll gather those 2 towns. We'll gather those 2 beasts. We can't gather any beasts, and 2 to hand. We don't want to gather any to hand. And that's that. So, and then we'll use destroy 2 explorers per Badlands beast. So we have 3 beasts, 1 wilds, and 1 disease. So that's 5. So we can destroy up to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that will be 2 fear for that. And that is the end of the slow power phase. We discard those, go on to time passes. There is nothing to heal. So we can move on then to the next turn. And I think this turn then we're going to choose growth option 1 and reclaim cards. We get 1 energy. That should be gone from the last turn. Excuse me. We're going to play Swallow the Land Dwellers. We're going to choose growth option 3 as well, which gives us 2 energy. We get 5 from the energy track. And then we play Infestation and Swallow the Land Dwellers. So we can target this land with Infestation, add 1 beast, gather up to 1. We can't gather for each beast. We have 4, 1 fear, so that's another fear card. And then that's that card. We will target Swallow the Land Dwellers in there as well. We will do 2 fear, so 1 and 2, which we're at terror level 2. 1 damage per token, so we have 4, 5, 6. So we do 3, 4, 5, and 1 damage there, which gets us another 3 fear, which is another fear card, and there's no cities left on the board, so we have a terror level 3 win. Wow, okay. Yeah, Lure, I struggled with him a bit the first few plays, but I'm coming around to really appreciating just how lethal he can be. He's definitely a lot of fun to play this spirit. And yeah, that was an interesting game. Let me know in the comments if I made any mistakes. It's quite hard sometimes to keep track of all the tokens and all the special rules for the adversary. Hopefully I didn't make too many. But yeah, let me know in the comments if there's anything you picked up on. And yeah, the next fear cards would have been each player chooses a different coastal land. In each, gather 1 to hand, 2 damage per to hand. So that could have taken out 2 towns there, but destroy all explorers and lands with towns, cities. Each city destroys 1 town in its land. Each player adds 1 strife to an invader. For the rest of this turn, invaders have -1 health per strife. So yeah, like I said, thanks for joining. Let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts or anywhere any rules I missed or anything like that. But otherwise, hope you can join again next time. Thank you.